Okay. Good morning once again. This is Christy Park from TDL, and welcome to the June Member Forum. We're glad you've joined us today and hope your summers have all started off fabulously. As I said, I'm Christy Park. I'm the director of TDL, and I'm joined today by Leah DeForest, our communication strategist, as well as a couple of TDL members. And as I mentioned, we're having some difficulty getting one of our presenters connected, so we're going to keep trying to get that taken care of. And if we can't, we will reschedule one of our speakers for a future forum, but we'll hopefully get it straightened out by in the next few minutes. Courtney Muma, our deputy director, who's usually here on the forum, is traveling today. She's representing TDL at the Dataverse community meeting in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We're going to follow our usual agenda and a couple of reminders as we get started. If you have questions or you're having trouble with audio or what have you, please let us know in the chat window there in the Adobe Connect screen. And you also have the ability to download the slides from today's presentation in the Files pod at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. We are recording this, as I mentioned, so you'll be able to access it on the TDL YouTube channel later on. I'm going to start with some directors updates and service updates, and then we'll cover some information about what's going on within the TDL and within our larger member community and digital library community. And we'll have some announcements from members. We have Adrienne Shapiro from Texas Women's University here to talk about the CTLC conference that's coming up later in the summer. And hopefully we'll have Carla Alvarez from UT Austin, who is also the Tarot Steering Committee Chair. And she's going to talk about the grant that UT Austin just received to redesign Tarot, and we're excited to hear about that. If we can't get it worked out today, we'll try again next month. All right, so jumping right in, we are over halfway to reaching our goal of visiting each of our regular member institutions this year. And you can see here on this slide 3 of our recent visits in the last month. We went to Texas A&M in College Station and to 2 Houston area schools. We went to University of Houston Clear Lake there on the right, and to the University of Houston, the photo on the bottom of that slide. And these have all been really fantastic and fun visits. And as I've said before, we're receiving really important feedback and input on our plans for the coming years, and we're getting great ideas for more coordinated collaboration. Leah is going to paste a link to our member visit photo album on Facebook into the chat window, and hope you'll take a look and see the photos from all our adventures over the spring and summer. Our big event of the last month, of course, was hosting the annual Texas Conference on Digital Libraries, which was May 20th through the 23rd, just about 1 month ago. And I want to thank everybody for attending and making this year's conference our best yet. If you haven't taken our post-conference survey already, we are going to paste a link to that in the chat window and ask you to take a few minutes to complete it. Your feedback is really invaluable as we plan outreach initiatives at all levels, including for TCDL next year. And I want to take just a minute to share a few highlights from the conference with you, starting with our keynote address. Dr. Siva Vaidyanathan's keynote examined the intersection where information practices, techno-fundamentalism, and international marketing meet, and it was a conference highlight for many attendees, and we want to thank him for joining us and starting us off right with his address. Secondly, we just want to thank our community and highlight them. TCDL is such a wonderful event in our opinion because of the energy that the TDL community brings. And this year's conference saw our largest attendance yet, representatives from over 60 organizations participating. including more than 80 presenters. We saw a record number of proposals submitted from librarians, archivists, and technologists who offered bold, brilliant, and valuable ideas that we hope will inspire new collaborations over the next year. Our conference proceedings from those presentations will be available in the TDL repository very soon. And I want to especially just take a minute to thank one of our planning committee members, Taylor Fairweather from West Texas A&M, who is taking on the task of depositing all of those materials and curating them for us in the TDL repository. Thank you so much, Taylor, for that. We'll be sharing out a link to those proceedings in the near future when they're ready to go. Third, I want to highlight our Leadership Academy this year. Recognizing a need among library and archive staff for skills development in leadership, communication, and negotiation, TDL and the TCDL Planning Committee coordinated the first ever Leadership Academy for TDL. This was a full-day ticketed event adjacent to the conference that focused on building skills necessary for leading at all levels of the library. Intended for early and mid-career library and archive staff, the event involved a mix of hands-on activities and presentations that built on attendees' own strengths. And participants were able to cultivate a cohort of fellow learners who together are seeking a professional community for support and growth. And we're really excited about the success of this event and hope to build on it going forward. Fourth, we want to highlight our TDL Awards winners this year who represented a really wonderful variety of institutions and projects, from digital humanities to digital preservation, digital scholarship, and open access. They included academic libraries and community archives from Texas and beyond, and showcased the cross-disciplinary and interinstitutional partnerships that libraries and archives use so well. We also want to congratulate our student scholarship winners and say a big thank you to our donors who made those scholarships possible for Texas library school students. And finally, I want to say one more big hearty thank you to the members of our TCDL Planning Committee who work on this conference for 10 months out of the year leading up to it. Thank you to the outreach that the Planning Committee and the TDL staff did to make this year's TCDL a huge success. And in the interest of time, I'm not going to read through everyone's name who was on the committee, but I do want to say a special thank you to Clark Yakubakis at Oklahoma State for his leadership of this committee, and wish him well as he has moved on to a non-TDL member institution. We really miss having him around Texas, but wish him all the best. It has become a tradition at TCDL for TDL's member groups, or at least some of these member groups, to say goodbye to outgoing chairs and welcome the vice chairs who are rotating into the chairship. And so I want to say thank you to those outgoing chairs and welcome our new ones listed here. We are so grateful for your efforts on behalf of TDL and on behalf of Texas academic libraries. And before we move on to our services and projects updates, I want to just take a second to remind everybody about an event coming up in the fall that we are co-sponsoring with the University of Minnesota Libraries. This is the DSpace North American Users Group meeting that will take place September 23rd and 24th in Minneapolis. Ed Warga, who is the chair of the DSpace Users Group for TDL, is working on the planning committee for this event, and we'll also have TDL staff represented there, I believe in the form of Nick Woodward, our software engineer, who's our DSpace service lead. And this is going to be a great opportunity to get engaged with DSpace users from all across North America, and we hope that we'll have some additional Texas representatives attending this event. You still have a few days to submit a proposal. There's an informal call for proposals out right now, which closes on Friday. So if you have any interest in this or any questions, let us know. Leah has pasted a link in chat to more information about that event, which I'm sure includes information about the call for proposals as well. All right, so moving on to services and projects upgrades. Just a couple of things we want to highlight before we get to community updates. First off, the Texas Data Repository Steering Committee has approved the 4.14 release of Dataverse, which they've been testing on our staging repository for a few weeks now. And I mentioned before that Courtney is at the Dataverse community meeting this week, presenting alongside our steering committee chair, Laura Waugh from Texas State. And after that meeting, we will schedule the upgrade of our production TDR Dataverse. So we'll be sharing information with the TDR steering committee and other stakeholders about that as we get that scheduled. But that will be coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Second, an update on OJS 3. As of June 1st, we are deploying new journals, new journal requests that come in. We are deploying those journals in the latest version of Open Journal Systems, which is OJS 3. And coming soon, we'll be announcing some opportunities for library liaisons and journal managers to explore and test in a test OJS 3 journal, and contacting journal managers to begin scheduling upgrades to their journals. And this process will be staged over quite a few months as we work through the 60 or so journals that we host to get them upgraded to the latest version. All right. Now we'll share some community updates, starting with an event coming up at Baylor this summer. So I'm going to hand it off to Leah to get us started there.
Thanks, Christy. Hey, everyone. Good morning, and thanks for joining us today. We want to remind you to please register for the ACRL Research Data Management Workshop, which is will be hosted by Baylor Libraries on August 9th. And there's information there on the slide, but if you have any questions about the workshop, we recommend contacting Billy Peterson-Lugo, who's the Director of Digital Library Services and Systems up at Baylor. And I'm going to paste a link to their registration site there in chat for you. And speaking of research data management, our final webinar in the Topics in Research Data Management series is next week, June 25th at 2 p.m. Our speaker that day will be Sonia Barbosa, the Manager of Data Curation and Acquisition for the Harvard Dataverse Project. She will discuss outreach to researchers, how to get more buy-in, and gatekeeping submissions to avoid messy metadata and or private or sensitive data. So the webinars in this series have been free. They're open to anyone who's interested, not just TDL members. I'm going to go ahead and paste the link to chat. Registration is required. And as with all of our webinars, this will be recorded, captioned, and published on YouTube. Okay, and now, Carla, I certainly hope your mic is working. I'm going to hand things over to Carla Alvarez of UT Libraries. Carla, let's take a minute, see if we can get that mic working again. I think in the interest of time, we will need to postpone this section. I'm really sorry about that, Carla, because we really are excited about this. I do have a story from UT Library's blog about the Tarot grant that Carla and her team won, and we are going to try again next month and make sure that we get this microphone situation dialed in. Carla, thank you so much, and let's try again next time. So moving on, we saw an announcement come through the DLF Forum email. The NEH grant funding for digital preservation projects has proposals due July 16th. Now, the notice of funding opportunity has been open for a while, but you still have time to apply if you're interested. These grants could support projects to preserve and create intellectual access to collections like rare books, journals, manuscripts, archival materials, maps, still and moving images, sound recordings, art, and objects of material culture. So the awards will also support creation of reference works, online resources, and research tools of importance to the humanities. So what that means is all the eligible activities are very wide-ranging, and many involve the use of digital methods. So further details, including links to the application, will be in the link I'm going to paste in chat right now. And do let us know if you plan to apply, and let TDL know if there's anything we can do to support you in that proposal process. And now I'd like to hand it over to our next guest speaker, Adrienne Shapiro from Texas Women's University.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yep, you sound good.
Can y'all hear me? Oh, excellent. Okay, good. Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Adrienne Shapiro, and I'm a librarian at Texas Women's University. And I wanted to invite everyone to attend this year's Cross Timbers Library Collaborative Conference, which will be held on August 2nd at the Black Huey Library in Denton. Registration is only $25, and it's worth every penny. This year, our theme is Constellations of Information, which we chose to reflect how we all work interdependently on our campuses and in our communities to achieve something bigger and something special. Our call for proposals has closed, but we were hoping to get a few more lightning talk proposals if anyone is interested. If you are, you can follow the link, which I will put in the chat right now. And I hope that someone is interested, because we really need to get a few more. And another quick note about the conference is that we're offering the ACRL Project Outcome Workshop, which focuses on assessment of programs and services and demonstration of their impact through collected data. So that's going to be offered. And if you'd like more information on that workshop, I will put that in the chat as well. And okay, that's it. I hope to see some of you out there this summer.
Thanks so much, Adrienne. I personally can't wait to attend my very first CTLC this year. And now I'm going to hand it back to Christy Park, who will share an upcoming OER event here in Austin.
Awesome. Thank you. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knows about an event that's coming up in August in Austin that's coordinated by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board and the Virtual College of Texas on open education and open educational resources. This Open Education Texas convening will offer insight into OER policy and practice at the state and national levels, and showcase findings from the OER in Texas Higher Education Landscape Survey that the Virtual College of Texas sent out earlier this year. It will be held August 7th and 8th in Austin at the Hilton Austin Airport, and there's a small registration fee that is tiered based on institution type. TDL, I'll be there, and Leah will be there, and I'll be presenting on our work within TDL and across the state and coordinating some work on OERs, and hope to see some of you there. But if you can't make it, rest assured that we will report back after that event. And before I hand it back over to Leah, I want to just check in one last time with Carla and see, it looks like her microphone is working. I just want to see if maybe I can unmute you, Carla, and we could, oh no, it went away again. I'm so sorry. Okay, that's the last time I'll try. And instead, I will pass it over to Leah to give a few more
Okay.
community updates.
Thank you. And again, sorry about that, Carla. I think we'll hopefully get it fixed for next month and be able to get you back. So we sent out a couple of reminders about this, but in case you didn't have a chance to see them, we want to let you know about a travel scholarship. The Texas ETD Association is awarding a $250 scholarship for one TXEDA member to attend the upcoming US ETDA conference, which will be held in Charleston, South Carolina. So details about evaluation criteria and submission deadlines, as well as a link to apply, are going to be in this link that I just pasted into chat. Completed applications are required to be submitted no later than July 1st, and then the TXEDA board will review all the applications based on the eligibility and awards criteria. A scholarship nominee will be notified within the week following the deadline. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Shelley Barba at Texas Tech. So one upcoming event that we are very excited about is our Web Archiving Texas event. Registration just opened. It's free, and I'm going to go ahead and paste a link into chat so you can access the registration form as well as a lot of logistical information, including parking, alternative travel options, and lodging in Waco. So this is a one-day event. It's open to all, and it will be an opportunity to build a community around web archiving in Texas. We want to bring people together to share our skills and resources and then amplify our work that impacts the national and international web archiving community. So again, we really hope to see you at Baylor University on Wednesday, November 6th to begin this work. And then finally, before I hand things back to Christy for Q&A, I do want to share a link to our member forum survey in the chat window. We've received some feedback already by those of you who have taken the survey, and we really do want to hear from all of our attendees and presenters. And you can take the survey more than once. So if you think of anything else, you change your mind, you're welcome to go ahead and fill out that survey again. That's it for me.
Okay, thanks, Leah. We have a few minutes left in our half hour for any questions. If you have them, feel free to type those into the chat window and we'll do our best to answer them. I do want to say thank you again to Adrian and to Carla for joining us today and apologize for the technical difficulties. We will try again to host Carla to talk about that Tarot grant because it is a really exciting development for our community and for UT Austin. So we'll make sure that we have an opportunity to share more about that with you at a future forum. If there aren't any additional questions, we will say goodbye for now. But want to thank everybody for joining us again, and we'll see you same time next month for the July forum. Hope everybody has a great rest of June. Bye, y'all.